We gathered here today to talk in very brief about what lokavidya is. Lokavidya, as the name signifies, those of you who are familiar with Indian languages would easily understand. Uh, it, it's easily and popularly translated as people's knowledge, but we are making a case for, for something distinctly different from what is called people's knowledge or indigenous knowledge or traditional knowledge and so on. Uh, by Lokvidya, we mean uh, knowledge that has its location in the lok, that is, among the people, that is in society. So it's not people's knowledge that we are talking about when we talk about Lokavidya. We are talking about knowledge in society, knowledge with the people in society, knowledge with peasants, knowledge with artisans, with Adivasis, with ordinary women, with generally speaking, who are referred to in political literature as people. It is knowledge with these people. Uh, this is different from what has been called traditional knowledge or indigenous knowledge or ethnic knowledge. There are various terms by which uh, some kind of sister locations have been named, uh, but Lokvidya is different from all these in the sense that it's not the knowledge that people possess, but it's essentially the knowledge which resides in locations where people's initiatives, people's, which are people's locations. For example, if a piece of knowledge or uh, or something about some information, some knowledge about forest or about agriculture is extracted out and put on the computer, some kind of database is prepared, uh, we shall not like to call it Lokavidya. Removed from its location, it does not remain Lokavidya. One can understand and easily see how Lokavidya is distinct and is very different from what is knowledge in the university. What is taught in the university, what is known as university knowledge. University is a major location of knowledge and knowledge activity in the modern world, um, often having the claims of being the sole location of knowledge activity, which of course we contend and reject. Uh, Not just the university, by university is a generic name, research institutions or any form of modern institutional structure in which knowledge is located is very different kind of knowledge. Lokvidya is not located in modern institutional structures, not also on the internet. There is a distinct difference between institutional structures of the last 200 years and the internet, even when it is seen as they are seen as locations of knowledge. They are very different types of locations with different kind of dynamics, the logic that they embody, and so on. However, they are both equally different, equally distant from a people's location where Lokvidya resides. But this is not talking only about organized knowledge, and in some sense, like if you compare with the terms used by economics in industry about the organized and unorganized sector. For most of the unorganized sector, so-called, is based on what we call Lokavidya. It has its knowledge basis in Lokavidya. Uh, but Lokvidya is not unorganized knowledge. Lokvidya is organized differently. It is organized uh, in ways which are very different uh, than than the methods and ways of organization in the modern world, in the world that has taken over, in the world that has come into existence with colonialism and the expansion of imperialism in these parts of the world where we live. Uh, People have their methods of organization, their ways of thinking, their styles of memory, their ways of doing things with all this, the command they have on their own intellectual resources, and so on. The logic is different, the values are different, the ontology is different. Practically everything is different. It's a different world altogether. It is organized in a different fashion. So Lokavidya is organized differently. The peasant understands that method of organization. The artisan understands that method of organization. The ideas, it has less hierarchy, it has more cooperation, and there are various other values in this method of organization which is by and large absent in methods of organization or organizations that exist and work in consonance with the modern market, the global market, say, or are or find favor with the state policy almost invariably. So it is not between organized and unorganized knowledge. So all these earlier ways of identifying another knowledge, another location of knowledge, which is not the university, in terms of indigenous knowledge, traditional knowledge, remnants of earlier forms of knowledge, or people's knowledge, or any other way, does not suffice, to identify that location, that form, that organization, that genius involved in that location of knowledge, which we are trying to refer to as lokavidya. It is distinct, in particular, if you see, if you pay attention to certain claims that Lokavidya Janandolan has been making. Lokavidya Janandolan, as the name signifies, Lokavidya is the knowledge that I have been talking about so far, and Janandolan is people's movement. So Lokavidya Janandolan is a knowledge movement of the so-called uneducated of the world, of the people who possess Lokavidya, of the people in whose location Lokavidya subsists and thrives. Lokavidya Janandolan, the first claim that it makes about Lokavidya is that Lokavidya is contemporary knowledge, that Lokavidya resides in open society, changes, improves upon itself, updates daily. It updates itself with respect to new information that people command, with respect to new technologies that people learn, with respect to state policy that keeps changing, with respect to the market that is a kind of which constitutes a pressure on them almost incessantly, constantly. It changes in light of all these. It changes on the basis of people's genius. It changes on the basis of their experiences. It changes on the basis or according to the demands of their life organization, according to their needs. So Lokavidya is contemporary knowledge, perhaps more contemporary than the knowledge form we are familiar with in the name of science. University has the walls. It is some kind of contained knowledge. There is a container where that knowledge, this kind of knowledge does not have a container in that sense. It has no enclosures, and therefore it's far more with the times, changing and so on. It has not been recognized in the modern world as proper knowledge, and there is a whole scheme around which the method of rule that has come into existence, modern state that has emerged across the world in last 200 years, that has not recognized it as proper knowledge, and therefore has not provided it with any avenues to grow. It grows on its own basis, on its own strength, on the basis of the strength of the people, without any favors, in fact, under very adverse conditions. Lokavidya Janandolan makes the claim that Lokavidya has a philosophy and an information basis, a logic, a value system associated with it, which provides a sufficient basis for the world to be reorganized along just lines just for everybody along environment friendly lines, along some kind of, well, in tune with nature lines. Lokvidya Jan Andolan makes the claim that Lokvidya is not just an input. It should not be seen, and in fact, it is absolutely incorrect to see it only as a new resource that enables companies or corporations to be more competitive or more kind of compete better in the markets to sell their products or to redesign their products in a manner such that it can have a demand different from what it has been having. It provides an alternate worldview. It gives one a way of looking at the world which is very different from the modern scientific worldview. What One more point that one needs to know, other than this basis about other than the fact that it provides a sufficiently wide basis, in fact, perhaps a wider basis than modern knowledge provides for reorganization of society along just lines, along friendly lines, and so on. It also provides, in fact, a new identity to the people, across the world, whether they are talking in the name of Mother Earth, about rights of nature, about a new, entirely new, autonomous, self organized educational methods and systems, and so on. They are all talking about something very different from what has been happening for last 200 years with, with favor and with a great amount of violence associated with it. They are all talking about something which is largely uh, in locations which are friendly for Lokavidya, or which can even broadly be called Lokavidya locations. They provide a new identity to the people. It is not an ethnic identity, it is not an indigenous identity, it is a knowledge identity which is different from what the university provides to the, well, mainly the higher educated. It doesn't even provide any identity to the general educated. It provides a new identity, a knowledge identity, a Lokavidya knowledge identity. It is based on, if we are able to see how it provides such a Lokavidya knowledge identity to the people in general, we will also be able to see that it provides new avenues, new ways of thinking for a new political imagination, more relevant for the unfolding world that we have today. I will give only one more point about how to think about this new political imagination and how it relates with Lokvidya. One would like to go back to the national movement in India. Well, 100 years ago, if we just go back 50 years, 60 years ago, where the national movement almost comes to an end in the sense of when the nation achieves independence, Swaraj is the cardinal idea around which the national movement is constructed and reconstructed through those 50 years of the movement. Swaraj is that concrete predecessor of the new political imagination that Lokvidya can provide us, or for which, let us say, Lokvidya provides us the knowledge basis. And therefore, Lokvidya provides us a radical standpoint to intervene in the political, social, economic, cultural sphere, that is, in the lives and the organization of lives and lives of the people and society from a knowledge standpoint. Remember, this has not been done. All change movements have addressed the political question, the economic question, the social question, the cultural question, even very often to the extent of being, liberal enough to address the philosophical question, but they have not specifically addressed the knowledge question, the question, the university, the modern science paradigms of which provide the structural paradigms for the university have not been questioned. Lokvidya lays the basis of a questioning that has hitherto been contained by the forces that be. Now is the time The opening up has taken place, and a contention is being made by Lokavidya Jan Andolan, by this movement of the people, of the uneducated people of the world, a knowledge movement of the uneducated people of the world. Uneducated meaning those who have not gone through the rigors of modern education. That's about all. They are not. It is in the given language that they are uneducated. They are obviously not uneducated people. They have the promise, and they have this time come with a promise which is based on their own knowledge. Thanks.